barbecue fans, it's another week here at the Wise Guys Barbecue Podcast, and we got a great show for you tonight. As always, my left side, Charles Baldwin, is here in studio, and what a studio it is. We got some new help this week that are getting us all up and going, so you guys make sure you comment, let us know if you like it or if you don't like it, or I don't know. I think hopefully you'll like it. But please also, if you get a chance, click that subscribe button and the like thumbs up. That is a big help. Share this thing. We want to get everybody on this podcast. You guys have been treating us really well. I really appreciate the subscriptions we've been getting, so keep it going. Also with us this week, we got Tony Parente. Tony is an avid backyard barbecue, Tony? What do you think?
Yeah, backyard for sure.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of knowledge. He's been... Well, first question I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, Charlie, to ask him some questions that we had before. Tony, what I wanted to know is, what's your job? Chip tells me you're a salesperson.
Yeah, so I'm a vice president of
Sells
sales.
ice to Eskimos is what he does.
Whatever you need, I got you covered.
Yeah.
We do energy efficiency projects and EV car charging stations. We're located in Mass, but I work throughout the country. So any state that needs their help, commercial only.
Yep.
But, we do our best to make things. If it takes oil, gas, electricity, propane, we make it better, more efficient, and have the utility pay for up to 90% of the projects.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. Well, I was confused because I think the first time I met you was through video, and you were in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And I said, oh, wow, this guy travels a lot for his job, I thought, or I don't know. I didn't know. That's why I wanted to learn that about you. But that's great. And I know from hearing about you from Chip and from the video I saw, you know a lot about cooking and the different types of cooks. So that's what we're here to do. I want to know more about the backyard barbecue scene and what's going on.
Awesome. Yeah, no, Tony and I go way back, not as far as me and you, but, like 30 years now?
33 years. I was like 2 years old when I met him.
Yeah, we go way back. Well, we've shared our love for food and sports for a long time. And, when you and I talked a long time ago about backyard heroes and, doing little articles and videos about people that cook in the backyard extensively. This is the first guy that came to mind, and he's been doing it for quite a while. But T, what I wanted to ask you is, I remember way back in the day, you and your pop cooking out in the backyard in West Warwick, and is that where everything really started for you as far as like cooking outside and grilling?
Yeah, I'd say that's where it started, on the outside. My parents owned a catering business, so we learned to cook on the inside. So we learned, when we did meatballs, we did them in 100-pound batches. But
I love that about you already.
Nothing we do is small.
Yeah.
But we had the big. It was handmade. With all pretty much brick. It was a grate that we created, probably 3.5 by 4 feet. So you could feed our whole family and the neighbors. If 10 people come and we cook for 30.
Yeah.
So, we did a lot of the basics back then.
Yeah.
The hamburgers, the hot dogs, chicken, we do shellfish and lobster. So everything was open and fair game. I was the baby of 6. So a lot of the menu, depending on how much money or cash they had back in the day, because, you have to feed 6 plus our friends and family.
Absolutely.
So what is your ultimate item to cook? Is it brisket? Is it pork? Is it chicken? Like, what do you like to cook the most or be most creative with?
I get to be most creative with is like with brisket and beef. And easy go-to, which I enjoy, is turkey. We do a lot of turkeys. And the reason for that, when we come to Thanksgiving, I'll take the bones and everything as we go throughout the year. I'll make a stock. And then when we do the turkey stuffing, we'll use that. So instead of using, any type of chicken or other fluid, we'll use that. So now you have the smoked flavor within the stuffing. And the first time I did a couple of years ago, everyone was like, what is this? Like, I didn't tell them. I made them guess. And no one guessed it. But, so now that's a tradition. So that's what I enjoy.
That's awesome.
You started in Johnston, not at the current house, right? But the one on
Victor Ave.
Victor Ave, you had a smoker there too, right? Like a vertical?
Yes.
That's the first? That was your first experimentation?
Yeah.
With actually smoking like meat and stuff?
That's where I started. I started on a vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have the Weber, the Smoky Joe.
Yep.
I have a lot of Webers for gas and charcoal and things, but that's what I started on. And it was a learning experience. The first time I did it, it was so good I made everybody cry.
Yeah, that's good.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah.
No horror stories?
Oh, that's the horror story. So when you do the smoker, In that one, I had all the charcoal, a little bit to start. I had the wood. We soaked the wood. I got a couple of different times that I wanted. And we put some brisket on, and they have a bowl where you put fluid in.
Yep.
So it keeps it moist. And I'm like, well, I never really played by the rules. So I'm like, I'm going to flavor this. So I do. And I like it kind of spicy. So I'm like, first time out of the gate, let's go for it. So I got some cayenne. I got all kinds of hot sauce, liquid, and
Good man.
and the flakes in there. So we're doing it, and it's going well. About an hour and a half in, we're all out on the deck, and about 2 hours, all of a sudden, everyone starts crying. I'm like, what's going on? Why is everyone crying?
Yeah.
Well, I realized that I ran out of fluid, and now it's searing the cayenne pepper, and it's going everywhere. So literally, I had to send everyone in the house. I had to, put more water to gather, but it was like napalm. Everyone was crying, their eyes.
Mustard bomb in your backyard.
It was a mistake, but hysterical. But I've never done that again.
Yeah, we'll make that mistake again.
Hence the first attempt made everybody cry. I thought they cried in like delight that his food was so good.
Yeah, well, now I get it.
Love it. Yeah,
That's
everybody's
great.
got a story like that. Their first experience. That's awesome.
Got to watch out for peppers, man.
Yeah.
They'll get you for sure.
Is Daniel your son? Is he your right hand man in all this stuff, or you go it alone?
No, if he's there, he is my right hand man. He's in the military, as you know, so
Yes,
he's
is.
taken the reins pretty well. When he was deployed a year and a half ago for Christmas time out in Kosovo, he decided to cook for 20 of his favorite friends in his unit. He bought the meat. He did brisket. He did spatchcock chicken, turkeys on 4 grills. He did it all himself, and everyone's like, they're looking at him, and even the chef goes, I didn't know you could cook. He's like me. He'd say, you never asked.
Yeah.
So he provided dinner for
wise
everyone.
guy, eh?
Oh yeah. But he does well. He's smoked before. He borrows my grills.
Yep.
So he does well.
Good for him.
He's a very impressive dude, man.
Well, I mean, we talk about all the time. Everybody who knows how to cook, how to learn how to cook.
Yep.
And some of the best ones, especially if they're just starting off, is from family, right? You learn from your mom, you learn from your pop, and you'd be surprised how much you know until you actually kind of, stretch those arms and get going. But that's awesome. That's terrific.
I mean, speaking of Daniel, Easter you did a very interesting rack of lamb. No, tell me
Yes.
about that one, because I love this whole setup.
So we always try something different. So we'd like to kind of just gamble and say it's either going to be good or bad.
Right.
Right. We always have lasagna in case it's bad. So what we did is took the lamb, and I do like what a lot of people do. You put little holes in it, put the garlic, put the rosemary. I don't do the anchovies, but some people do, and that's fine.
Yep.
So we do all that. What I do is I smoked it for a couple hours, just enough to get the flavor, not to cook it, but to get the smokiness in it.
Sure.
So we did that, step 1. Step 2 is then I put it in a sous vide. We sous vide it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we sous vide it in that, in the bag. So we get it to the temp. I cook everything to rare
Yep.
because you can always put it on the grill later for people that don't
Sure.
like it. But in that, so we did all that. And then when we were done, the juice that was in the bag, we made a gravy out of it. And what we did is we then took that down onto my grill, and we have a torch flamethrower.
Yeah.
And that we torched it. So you got the smoke in the
reverse
beginning.
sear.
Reverse sear. You got the
Yep.
smoke in the beginning, then it's cooked to perfection with the sous vide. And then on the grill, we have this flamethrower, which, like they use it to, burn things. And
Daniel's like this in some of the pictures. He's like,
it's probably about this big, the flamethrower. And then you got the,
That's
the
great.
flame. So we torched it, and it came out perfect. But it's just, again, it was a
Trial and error.
trial and error.
Got the lasagna in the background just in case.
right? Just in case. Just for the
That's
backup.
awesome. That's new to me. I don't know much about lamb. I've never done it. Tommy has shown me a couple of things this past Easter, but that sounds fantastic. I did a Cinco de Mayo cook, and I cooked 2 picanha meats, and I smoked it first, and then I was going to sear it off at the end. And my wife, especially if we're entertaining, she wants like everything done early. Her idea is, we can relax and enjoy the party. You never can. She was up to the last minute. But anyways, I got it. Like an idiot, I made the mistake. I did it early, and I ended up having to keep it warm. And how do you hold something at like 125 warm? But believe it or not, a great little trick. I got a good sized air fryer. And on air fryers, you can turn down the temperature. Like you can't, like my oven, I think the lowest I can get on my oven's 200 or 180. But on an air fryer, you can get them down to 115, 120, and that thing will just hold at that temperature for hours. So that's what I did. I ended up keeping my picanha on there at 115, 120 for a couple hours, and then when everybody came in, I dropped it down, did a sear on it, and got it out on the table. That was like something that I never thought I would ever do in a sous vide bath or something to do it, because I guess, why not, right? So you just took a big old bag and then put it in there and pulled all the air out and just hung it over into a bath from there and just kind of sous vide it?
Yeah, I have a big pot we use for clam boils and stuff.
Yep.
Put the water in. The sous vide machine is like a stick blender you attach to the side.
Yeah.
You pick the temperature. One thing, though, if you start using it, put hot water in.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you start with cold water, it takes like an hour or two to get the temperature. So this way I put hot water in, set the temperature of the stick blender, put the meat in. I put a towel over it just to keep some of it in. And it just goes hours, whether it's 1 hour or 35 hours. It never overcooks the meat.
That's great. That's super.
Amazing.
Good.
Hey, you and I were kicking around an idea of filming a backyard smoke with you, and I asked you. I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I expected you to say ribs, or brisket, or whatever, but you said
Rabbit.
rabbit. Wants to smoke rabbit. This guy. So I've been catching rabbits left and right near my house.
How are you catching them?
Carrots.
You
So tell me what.
Catch your shoes. Never mind a rat.
Tell me what your idea is smoking a rabbit.
So for my 40th birthday, only a couple years ago, I ended up we had all the party, but I smoked then. I had deer. Someone had given me some deer.
Yep.
Some deer breast. I had some duck breast, and I had some rabbit. I'm like, let's go for it again. Trial and error.
Yeah.
I don't use recipes, so we threw it in, and it came out fantastic.
Oh wow.
I've used rabbit before in like a chicken cacciatore type of thing.
Yep.
And again, if it, just like any meat, if it's cooked right, it tastes great.
Sure.
So I think that would just be. I haven't done it in a couple of years, and if we're gonna do something, let's do it.
Yeah. Seriously.
Where are we getting rabbits from?
Oh, you can get any Portuguese market.
They'll have
Sabres. I think it's Sabres is the national Portuguese.
Also, the
brand.
Meat Bar has it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
he does. You're right.
They do. They have them frozen.
Yep.
When I was
usually
there.
you have to buy them frozen.
Yeah.
Yep. Neilio. You have to call a buddy up Neilio and say, "Hey, need some rabbit."
Yeah, half a dozen of them bunnies.
Heffenreffer.
Heffenreffer, yes.
Where's my Heffenreffer?
Yeah, I never knew that was rabbit.
If I had rabbit before, it's like you had mentioned. I had it in a stew.
Yeah, in a stew.
Or it was braised. It was something, nice and soft and tender, and with like a sauce around it. Kind of like a French kind of a presentation.
Yes.
I've never had it per se, maybe grilled or smoked. I never had it. I don't know if it's good or bad. Or have you ever had it like that?
I had it smoked years ago.
Yeah.
So I think we should try it. And what just came to me now, why stop there? Let's throw some frog legs in there.
No.
Get chicken wings.
Oh, boy.
No. And let me tell you a quick story. We're at the Nordic Lodge years ago, okay? And we're eating, back then it was like $60 a plate. All you can eat. If you don't know the Nordic Lodge, it's all you can eat steak and seafood, okay?
Right.
So we go in there and we're killing it. And me and this guy, they're ready to throw us out. And I'm fine. Okay?
You've been here 4 hours.
And I'm 10 lobsters, 4 steak. I made my money. This guy puts frog legs in front of me, and when I tell you, I almost threw up my entire meal all over that table.
Why, did they look like frog legs?
Yes.
They look like frog legs?
Yes, they look like frog legs. And I'm just like, the thought of putting that in my body. But you go ahead. Go right ahead. Knock yourself out. Just don't give me any of those, because those things are a horror show to me. I don't know how people eat those things.
I don't know if I ever had.
Okay, if I'm starving in France, all right, I'll eat them. But
It's just a thought.
it's just a thought. You're the cook. You do what you want. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of this. What are you using for machinery? What are you using to cook, and what kind of fuel are you using?
So I still currently use the Weber Smoky Joe, the vertical. I've been looking at different ones over the years. Humphreys now is coming to the top of the list just because of you guys.
Oh wow!
So I've learned a lot. And it's local.
Yep.
So that
and they're great people. Chad and
seem
Nicole, they're
fantastic.
great people. Yeah.
So that'll probably be the next one instead of the green egg, which is still good.
Yeah, sure.
But I like Humphreys is on wheels, so that's even better.
Yeah.
So you can move it. So that's what I use. We have one of my sisters created, I would say a basic spice blend, like salt, pepper, garlic, and a few other things that she's created.
Okay.
And it's great on lamb because my brother-in-law is Greek. So she's Italian, but she cooks Greek and everything.
Sure.
So that can go on any meat, chicken. So we use that as the base.
Okay.
And then depending what I feel like, I'll try, again, I just mix and match. I've yet to get Blues Hog, but that's on my list to try theirs. And then I'll get some chunk wood. Depending, it could be apple, could be peach. One of my friends used to make cutting boards, and he had walnut. I'm like, I'll take some of that.
Yeah.
He's just throwing it away.
Yeah.
So I've used that before and done a mix. But I like some of the sweeter woods, like the cherry, the apple for me, because I think you can get a better flavor out of that.
Yeah.
But when I do it, I'll put some charcoal in the bottom of it just to get it going, get the fire going. I have a bucket of chunks like soaking, and another bucket that's kind of draining a little bit, not completely soaked, but enough where you can put in the fire and not put the fire out.
Right. Right.
And then I'll just do that, and I'll just kind of time it every 45 minutes or so. I'll just open a little hatch, throw a few more chunks in.
Yeah. Do you find that fruit wood is usually better for, because you said you do a lot of turkey, usually poultry, fowl, a fruit wood will do better if you're cooking any skin on poultry.
That's what I find in doing that. I completely agree with that. And it's turkey's great, and people are like, I've never had it. I'm like, it's so easy.
Yeah. When we did our big family Thanksgivings, we used to do 3 20-plus pounders. We do one in the oven, one in the fryer, and then we would spatchcock and smoke a third one. And, the skin was always a challenge, right, because it's rubbery. But the meat, everybody loved. And, they couldn't figure it out. Oh, that's a fried one. I had that before. Oh, yeah, that's traditional. I love it. Nice and juicy. But they were like, what's this? And it's smoked. And it's like, what, you smoke? What do you mean? And they taste it, and they're blown away because they never had that smoke in a turkey before. If if you don't eat it all the time,
right,
it's
different.
You know what I mean? I like smoked turkey. I'll look for it if I can, but other people have never heard of it, kind of a thing. So sure, for sure.
No, our family's the same way. We would do a 30-plus pounder in the oven.
Yep.
And then do 3 12 to 14 pounds.
Yep.
In the Webers, and then the oven one never gets touched. That's for leftovers. People take that home.
Oh, a good idea.
The rest is that's how we do it. It's
Yeah.
out there, but no one touches it.
Yeah.
And all the rest is gone.
Yep.
But once you have it, you always want it.
Yeah. No,
You guys have some very similar traditions in your family. You do the 7 fishes, right?
I do.
The 7 fishes, right?
I do.
What's your go-to?
So we change it up. The staples are smelts that we always do. I actually make the snail salad. So I'll buy it already sliced. We used to slice it back in the day, but my twin sister sold my father's great slicing machine. Go figure. So,
Hi, Alicia.
Yeah, exactly. So we do that. We make the homemade gravy. Then I take that and make a clam sauce out of it. We do the aglio out of it with the anchovies. Sure. We'll do clams.
Yep.
Sometimes clams casino. We'll do stuffies. We'll do calamari.
Okay, great.
We'll do always like a codfish. We used to do eel because one of my sisters loved it. So we used to do 7, sometimes 8. Yeah. So we do, I'm probably going to break out the box. I'm doing octopus this year. They just don't know it.
Nice. We love octopus.
My son did one. Oh, it's great.
Do you grill it or you poach it?
Both. So when my son did it, he's like, Dad, come on over. So over the summer last year, he grabs one. He poaches it in some wine, some balsamic vinegar, really good. And then let that go for a few hours, nice and tender. Cut it, put it on the grill just enough where you got the sear, but the inside, it was probably the best octopus I had.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And I always ask my family, what else do you guys want? Let's just try it.
Right.
So I'm going to surprise them with octopus this year.
Good. Nice. One of my favorites from that meal. So very similar to your point, Charlie. Yep. Very similar. I think the only 2 things that you didn't mention, we'll do some shrimp, stuffed shrimp baked. And then my favorite, my mom used to take the little squid bodies, fill it with the ricotta cheese, toothpick them, and float them in the gravy or the sauce. And,
that.
You know what I mean? So you had something going on in the sauce that obviously not meat, but it was delicious. It was delicious. For me, it reminds me of, because of, I guess, the ricotta, like a squash flour, right? It was just, you sought after. You go in that sauce and you find a little squid body full of ricotta. You're like, oh, this is Christmas. I got my gift, But yeah, very similar. That's it's a must do.
As a non-Italian, I'm absolutely horrified at what you people eat on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
God.
Honestly, I think our Thanksgivings are probably the most obnoxious, even for me, because we do the whole American tradition, right?
Yeah.
The squash and the mashed potatoes and the turkey and, all the wonderful stuff. And then you have the eggplant parm, you have the lasagna, maybe the stuffed shells, the meatballs and all that. And that's what I did. So when we used to do our big family ones, because as we kind of, families get older, you start passing out the holidays, right? So I would grab Thanksgiving. All my older siblings go to Florida on Thanksgiving Day. So we'd do it the Saturday before. We would have everybody, all the kids would come because they loved it. So we like 30, 35 would fill into our house. And we would start maybe the Tuesday before with frying the eggplants and getting the lasagnas all done and everything. And we would just have pans and pans of these things. And, it all went away at COVID. We stopped it at COVID. But going towards COVID, it was getting a little bit older with my family because when I was younger, all the kids were in college. It was great because there was a ton of food, but all the kids would pack these huge takeaways and go, there's a college all next week, and they go back home and they're all good. Right.
Yeah.
So that was the fun of it. And of course, so Sue had no experience of cooking that Italian food. She just wanted to learn. It was a big challenge for her. And of course she puts her little twists on them to be efficient. You can imagine how my wife could be and forget it.
I know very well.
Yep. So Thanksgiving was a lot of fun for me because it was a challenge. And I think the biggest one we still enjoy is Christmas Eve because we do now our own Christmas and our own Thanksgiving, and we're 8-10 people, a lot smaller. But when we do Christmas Eve, because it's more like a cocktail party now,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Come on over, open house, all the food's there, but it's buffet, make a plate if you want. And it's mostly there to be, but at least it's a good crowd. It's 20, 25 people stopping by because it's a cocktail party.
Yep.
For sure.
Last couple of years, Thanksgiving, I've told you this several times. It's strictly barbecue at my house for Thanksgiving. My brother has got a place down near him, and we, of course, don't cook too much of it anymore. But yeah, he brings smoked turkey and brisket, and it's going over huge.
And now this year with your new smoker, you're going to be cooking it all.
I'm going to.
Or is it going to be Zach and James? But
I don't know. They're a little scared about it, but we're gonna work it
I
out.
see Zach cooking more than James.
Zach is fine indoors. He likes to do stuff on the stove and cook. When we go away on vacation, he has a couple nights where he just makes his thing, whether it's shrimp scampi or some kind of fish tacos or whatever. That's his deal. James, he's like his old man. He likes to eat it, but the cooking thing, not really interested. But he pays attention.
I was going to say Zach would remind me of me because I would have the ingredients. I would have a recipe. I would try to follow it.
Yeah.
James would remind me more of Sue, where she's just reaching and grabbing one. Oh yeah, this. We need some of that. Oh yeah, that. Put some of that in there and just keep going.
Well, that's this guy too. Doesn't use any recipes. He's just like throwing stuff together.
God forbid if you like my wife's cooking, because you'll never get it again because she has no clue how she made it.
That's true.
And she'll tell you, she's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but that's cute.
That's awesome.
I don't even like when my mom, she taught us all to make the sauce gravy, whichever no one in the family could do it.
Yeah.
Now I watched it a couple times and I do, that looks good. That looks good.
Yep.
And the same thing. My son, same way, doesn't measure. My daughter, she doesn't measure, but she's a great baker. So in that, she measures a little bit.
Sure.
So she's great in that respect. But Zach, my wife, she's the indoor cook. She loves the inside, and I just handle the outside.
Yeah,
good deal.
Baking's like chemistry, right? You got to follow the recipe because certain things don't happen if you don't put the right portions of the. All right, so this is fantastic. What is this? And thank you for bringing it. But this is delicious.
You're welcome. I was told I had to buy my way onto the podcast.
This is true.
You're kicking up. Is that what it is? He's kicking up.
Well, we got one for you. The bottle's somewhere, so it's I know it's an 03. I just can't remember the correct name.
Well, it's delicious. It is absolutely delicious.
Very good. Very good. It fits right in with the reds we've had in the past.
No, this is much better than the reds.
No, I think that's what I'm saying.
There's no aftertaste. There's no tannins.
Very smooth.
Well,
cheers. Welcome aboard.
Ching, ching.
Vincenzo.
Cheers. No, this is great. So do you have any more traveling in your near future? Are you going anywhere soon?
I'll be in Minneapolis for work in September at the moment.
Okay.
So we'll see what's there.
All right. Yeah. See
There's probably some events going on out there, I would think. I mean, the big one was already, they already had it, but.
Well, they had that Fire on the Ice.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
But, yeah, there's so much going on right now.
Well, I want to get to one of some of the events because, like, I used to have a friend that worked in Texas, and we used to talk, and, you know, their family did competition barbecue. I'm like, dude, I got to come down.
Right.
Well, then they got divorced, so that took my shot out.
Well, that's my next question. Do you ever think about? I mean, you've been doing this for so long. Are you ever thinking about getting into some kind of competition and trying your luck and see how you stack up?
Absolutely, I would. I think the first time because I've never been there is get. You know, I'm a great gopher. You know, I'll go for this and go for that. I'm a great PA. I'm a good personal assistant.
Yeah.
I'd show up and say, okay, what time do I need to be there, and just watch, learn. What can I do?
No, even you would do
like
it.
that.
You would do even better with. I mean, we have a great friend of the show, Bob Bowman, Bobby's Backyard Q. Bob is a competitor, and Bob also teams with other. He's going July 12th. He's going out to New Jersey. I don't remember exactly the name of the competition. I think El Jefe and 16 Mesh and him are teaming up together. So there's a lot of these guys that'll team you up. So if you give him a call and say, hey, can I, you know, well, we'll do it for you. Say, I got a guy here. He's wants to learn more about doing these, you know, because these guys don't do too many backyards. They're actually in competitions, but you go on their team. In this way, you cook with them. You learn. You learn the timing. You see the process, so you can create your own and go from there. That's easy peasy. That's a slam dunk. There's a couple of guys like that would love to have you on. And you know, you miss it this year, but it'll be next year. As Nebs does a class, right?
You're reading my mind. Stop it.
Yeah, so they do a judging class and it's a cooking competition class where they invite you out and they kind of run it like a competition. They do one meat, not all of them, and they say, okay, here's, you know, this is where you got to start, this you got to turn in, and they show you how they judge it, and they do the whole thing, and then whoever shows up and competes for that day could win a smoker. I think they gave
a new smoker, wasn't it a
Weber? It
was a Weber.
Mountain. Yeah. So I think it was, but regardless, they were looking. I had gotten a call from the VP of NEB saying, "Hey, would you guys mind plugging the contest a little bit because we're down on cooks?" They had a ton of judges.
Yep.
Like I think they had 24 people that took the judging class the day before. But as far as cooks went, they were down, and they wanted to get some more people. And we know probably a handful of people like yourself. Just how do I get started? You know, we tell everybody just go to an event. You know, meet some people, because once you meet, there's about maybe 18, 20 of them. Once you meet them, they're there all the time. The New England guys, you know, and they're there all the time. So if you get a chance to cook with a team or you get a chance to be in one of those competitions, not only have you done it, but now you met the people that you're going to meet everywhere.
Yeah, the networking is invaluable.
Yep. I would definitely suggest, it's not open to the public, but if we go down on the 28th of July to the Rhode Island State competition, which is a championship barbecue alliance, Matt Pereira promotion is having one. It's a 2-day event, and we're probably going to go down and meet some teams and meet some people. So come down and do that. You'll definitely meet some folks. And the other thing I would also, which is a lot of fun, but it's a little more of a commitment, is up in Harum, Maine. There's Cora Kears, which is a 2-day event open to the public. It's only a 1-day competition, but it's fun because they do this ribs barbecue auction.
Yeah.
So if you go up there on a Saturday, you meet the teams, you go to the auction, and you get a chance. Every team is asked to cook a pan of ribs that they auction off, and then of course some teams will do, like we met a team last week, Ballers Barbecue, where the father cooks and the daughter cooks. So they'll have 2 turn-ins. And then you get to, these things usually go $80, $100, $150 donatable purchase of a tray of ribs. Which
they literally like bid on the ribs. People bring their ribs out and you like bid on them, like a car auction, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah.
And they make a lot of cash on that for their event.
Oh yeah. So it was the Smoke Sisters, Starla and Sabrina, who won it last year. I think it was $505. The final bid came in. It was another competitor who bought them, and he was being super sweet to the girls. I think they were 13 last year. and they're up on stage and they're hooting and hollering and they're getting everybody going. It was fun, but that's something to see if you want to. You know, last year me and my wife went. We stayed over Saturday, so we saw the rib auction, which was I didn't even know was happening. You know, walking around, I was like, no, it's Tom Egan. Tom's like, if you go, try to go Saturday because you'll see the rib auction, and that's something you don't want to miss. And I'm like, auction. You know, I've been a lot
ribs,
of, what are you talking about? Right? And I was like, oh, this is super sweet. And they also do the kids queue on Saturday. So they have the winners of the kids queue. They have the barbecue rib auction. And then Sunday is the actual event day where they turn in and, you know, and win their awards. But at least it's open to the public. So there's some, you know, food trailers. There's some things going on. It was a little wet last year, so it was probably not the crowds they wanted, but it's fun. It's put on by the Humphreys. Well, they promote it. The Shriners donate they have like a little campground campus, so they donate that, and it's for the Shriners. And the Shriners have their the folks that get, you know, their maybe their help in medical treatments or whatever. Those are the kids who team up on the kids queue. And the Humphreys, definitely, they are the promoters of that. Mm-hmm. And Kathy Trainer for Inclusive Barbecue Events is the, like, you know, the manager. She's the cogs that pull this whole thing together. And the Humphreys not only sponsor, but they also compete.
Yep.
So they're having the fun. So it's good. It's a good event. But like I said, it's probably a 4.5 hour ride from here. And if you go for the 2 nights, you're staying over somewhere. So
sure.
It's an investment if you're going to go out to that one. But I definitely would recommend the Rhode Island one, the CBA.
The class too. I mean, you're advanced as far as like a cook, but that doesn't matter at this class. You know, you're going to go there and get tips and stuff that are going to be invaluable for you if you want to get started. And
sure.
And just the people like Vin said, just the people you meet there in the community. And you're, you know, I don't have to worry about you meeting people because you hi to.
You seem to have those talents.
Say hi to a brick wall and be friends with it.
There's so much that goes into it.
For you.
Know, from picking your meats to injecting to trimming, the turn-in box, the process, the timing. You know, there's different competitions have different, you know, times. If it's a 45-minute wait out between meat turn-ins or if it's an hour, so there's a process for sure. You got to build for yourself. And that's what you'll learn. Like Chip said, you know, I'm sure you know how to light a smoker and I'm sure you know how to cook some meat, but it's the other things you don't think of that you have to kind of, and you're never going to be good at it the day one, but you just dial into so you know that you have to have it, right? These guys are starting on, I don't know, they're starting on a Wednesday when they're pulling their meats out of freezers
sure.
and they're getting them prepped and they're getting their equipment ready to travel. And then, you know, there's a whole process through the weekend. It's amazing what they do. I can't believe people do this.
And it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of
time,
investment,
a lot of effort,
monetary investment. I mean, the prize money is not. You know, I mean, it's
no. I've seen places $125
Yep.
winning prizes. These guys are paying $300 to get into it.
Yep.
So what are you doing? You know what I mean? But they're doing it for their points. They have you know, they're competitive. That's the, you know, I don't know if you've been following what's going on in the articles and stuff, but it's fire at the end of the day. Who's just been killing it.
They've been on a roll.
Number one in brisket, like for 3 different events back to back.
Which I have to say is like, I mean, that's kind of unheard of. Like to have a run like that.
Yep.
Because usually you figure, you know, your cooks are going to be a little bit different.
Yep.
Every time you go.
Yeah,
and for you to nail it like 3 times in a row, that's pretty impressive.
Especially when the score is like everybody's hitting a 170 point something. Right?
Yeah.
It's like golf. Everybody's. There's a 3-way tie at 14 below, right? There's a 3-way tie at 170.0012 or something.
Yeah,
it is a little nutty for sure.
And listen, the judging class is a lot of fun, and it's probably worth your while too. It's like they have it out at Miller's in Cranston. You learn how the competition works, and you learn what the judges look for, and the process that everything goes through. And as a cook, it behooves you to understand what the judges are looking for and how contests are run. So,
right.
I mean, that's a good well of knowledge too with that stuff.
I think it's always good to learn. You know, I've tried injecting, just creating stuff and seeing how it works.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would say, because, again, I've been doing the backyard, you can never make a mistake.
Yeah.
You just have to try stuff.
Yep.
And if, you like keep a notebook, what'd you do? Did it work? Did it not? Did people like it? Did they not? If there's a certain person that always hates your food, it's always them. It's never you.
Right.
It's always them. So you just keep moving on. But, you know, that's what we do. I guess never be afraid to try something.
Yeah, there's no stupid questions. That's
No,
what we found
definitely
out.
not. Listen, it's Father's Day coming up. What are you guys doing? Are you guys cooking out for Father's Day? I know the weather's not supposed to be great, but what do we got planned?
And I think the weather's going to be okay.
Is it going to be all right by Sunday?
I heard cloudy. My boy, my guys are all over the place. So I'm not going to, we're going to actually postpone it.
Yeah.
But Sonny's coming down. Luke's actually leaving Thursday to go into Canada for a few days. He'll be back late, whatever. We got some house guests here in the house, so I didn't know how the house was going to hold up for me to enjoy the day, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, other than that, that's my weekend. I'm cooking Saturday and
Cool.
I'm drinking Sunday. And I'm sticking to it.
Mr. T?
I'm thinking about doing just, some basic grilling in the back. For my birthday in May, we went to the meat bar, grabbed some good steak, grabbed some steak tips.
Yes.
Was that when we were up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Brazilian marinated steak tips?
Yeah.
I got some of those.
I'm working on my communication.
Yes.
Because I said, can I have the bourbon?
Yeah.
And they said yes, and I didn't get them. So I want to go back to actually get try the bourbon ones. We didn't.
Okay.
They gave us.
I don't know anything about it. Tell me
which
how
was
it,
great.
I did get the bourbon. They were amazing.
We got other kinds. I got the sausage, which was good.
Yep.
We got 2 other kinds of steak tips. One was like the Korean with the gochujang kind of thing, which was good. And I wanted the bourbon, but I got like a garlic one, which was still good.
Right.
It's just not what I wanted. So now I guess that's one way to keep the customers coming back.
Sure. That's it. Give them what they don't want.
Right in the mind.
Good job, Neilio.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Strategy.
Believe me, I was talking and,
Yeah.
you
were talking.
I could have said the wrong thing. So I'm not saying it's all their fault.
Yeah.
He was talking between me and the guy and his son, and he
then
was all over the
then Amelia
place.
showed up right afterwards. He wasn't there right away.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he's got a lot going on. I love it. I love it for him. And he's cooking right now a lot. He told me a cute little story on text message because I sent him out notice about the 21st, and he's like, "Oh shit!" He goes, "I can't make it. I'm so bummed." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, he goes, "I got a ton going on. I'm cooking." I'm like, "So what do you do?" Because he caters. I didn't realize he caters too. And I'm actually going to read this because this is an obnoxious amount of food that he made for. It was 135 people at a high school graduation. Yesterday, I had a Sunday from hell, business Sundays ever since we opened. And after a 135 catering job graduation party, I did 6 briskets, 8 butts, 20 racks of ribs, and 60 pounds of smoked macaroni. Wow. And I was like,
how do you even do that?
Like, that's 300 plus people in my mind. Like, he said 135. He's like, but it was all like, it was a football party. Whatever. He goes, those football kids can eat. He said he had plates. He took pictures of them. They had like 3 inches of food piled up on top. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't imagine. Like that's a lot of food. Because I was doing some of that for the 21st, and I'm talking to some people, and I'm like, grab me 2 briskets, and then the appetizers I was doing in lots of 50. And then one person who was making ribs said, "Oh, I'll make you 5 racks." I'm only expecting probably like about 50 people, but still, so I said, "No, you better do 10 racks because 10 racks wouldn't be enough for 50 people, but with other food, it'll be plenty." Right. You know what I mean? That's you should. Are you around on 21st of June?
I think I'm doing a swim meet.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I can't sneak out because I run the swim meets.
Okay.
So
well, stop by later. We might be going a little bit later.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's highly possible.
It's fun. Yeah, it'll be right.
My
here.
brother's coming up and take care of the deuce, so I'm a free man. Yeah,
nice.
I think you should
so
bring
just dig
your
a
brother
hole
and bring the deuce.
just dig a hole for me in the backyard.
Nice.
Put me in there.
It'll be fun.
T, it was a pleasure. Love hearing about your cooking, and it's obvious to me, and I'm sure to our viewers and listeners that you know what you're doing, and you just epitomize what we talk about all the time in the backyard smokers, and we call them the backyard heroes. And we are going to get a video of you in action before this summer is over. And I know you want to do rabbit, and that's okay with me.
As long as it's okay with you.
It's okay with me. I'm not partial in eating bunnies, but I trust you. I've had your food before, so I look forward to that. Thanks for coming on, man. It was great.
Tony, thank you very much. It was wonderful meeting you face to face again. If I'm because of my senility, I'm sorry, but pleasure meeting you again. And thanks for all the information you keep us up to date with on the barbecue scene. And I'd love to get you videotaping some smoked rabbit in the backyard.
Yeah, no,
if you can catch them.
Hey, well, I appreciate it very much.
brother.
Yes.
Honored to be on here. And as they say, as Bugs Bunny goes, beep, beep, beep. That's all, folks.
All right, everybody. Take care. Enjoy your Friday night. Go out and eat some barbecue, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Adios.